Level 1. The Sakaime. Your father's debt is 4,200,000 yen. He borrowed it from the wrong people 3 years ago to keep his izakaya alive. He couldn't pay. You knew the men would come eventually. You just didn't know they'd come on a Tuesday afternoon, in suits, smelling like cedar and cigarettes. They don't threaten your father. They don't need to. They sit at the best table in the restaurant, order nothing, and wait until you're alone. Then the older one slides a business card across the counter. It has no name, just an address in Shinjuku and a time, 7 a.m. He says, your father's debt becomes yours, or it disappears. Come tomorrow and we'll discuss which. You go. Of course you go. There is no choice that feels like a choice. The office is above a pachinko parlor. 3 men, 2 guards at the door. A desk with nothing on it except a glass of water and a folded piece of paper. The older man sits across from you. He says the organization will forgive the debt entirely. In exchange, you work for them, you run errands, you watch a corner, you carry messages. You don't ask what's in the messages, you nod. He pours you tea. The meeting is over in 11 minutes. For the next 4 months, you're a Sakaime, a boundary marker. You stand at the edge of things, outside a building, at the end of a hallway, on a corner in Kabukicho where the neon never goes dark. You watch, you count, you memorize faces, you text a single character if a certain car arrives. You never ask why. You learn that questions are currency you cannot afford to spend. You make no money. You eat what they feed you. You sleep in a tatami room above the office with 2 other young men who also came through debt, through desperation, through no other door being open. You think about your father's restaurant sometimes, the way he wipes down the counter 3 times before closing, the same motion every night. He thinks you got a job with a security company. You don't correct him. Level 2, the Kyodai. You're 19, 2 years of watching corners and carrying sealed envelopes. You've been arrested once, outside a hostess club in Roppongi at 2 a.m. They cuffed you against a wall. You said nothing. You were released in 4 hours with no charge. The next morning, your superior nodded at you from across the room. That nod was worth more than anything you'd been told about the organization. The initiation ceremony happens in the basement of a warehouse in Yokohama. Low lighting, 12 men in suits. You kneel on the tatami. The oyabun pours sake into 2 cups. He and you drink from the same ladle. This is the sakazuki, the sake-sharing ritual that has bound Yakuza brothers for over 300 years. In that moment, you cross a line that has no return. You are now Kyodai, brother, foot soldier, the lowest rank with an actual title. Your job expands. You collect protection fees from small businesses in the organization's territory. A dry cleaner in Shinjuku, 2 Korean barbecue restaurants in Shin-Okubo, a nail salon, a used car lot. You visit once a month. You are always polite. You always wear a suit. You never raise your voice. The violence is implied in your presence, in the organization's reputation, in the fact that everyone in the neighborhood knows who sends you. You make 180,000 yen a month. You rent a small apartment in Nakano. You own 2 suits. You have your first business card. It lists you as a consultant for a company that does not exist. You run into a girl from your high school on the Marunouchi line. She's in university now. She asks what you do. You say trading. She nods, smiles, looks at your suit. She has no idea. You are grateful for that. Level 3, the Wakashu. You're 23, 4 years in. You've proven you can keep your mouth shut, follow orders, and deliver results without creating problems. In the Yakuza, that combination is rarer than it sounds. You're promoted to Wakashu, senior soldier, young guard. You now have 2 men beneath you. You manage 3 gambling dens in Shinjuku, small rooms above restaurants where men play Hanafuda cards until 4 a.m. You manage the flow. You ensure the house percentage is correct. You deal with disputes quietly, in the hallway, before they become incidents. You also manage your first conflict. A rival construction company refuses to use the organization's concrete supplier on a building project in Nishi Shinjuku. You and 2 of your men visit the rival company's foreman at a job site. You don't touch him. You stand near him. You ask about his children, by name. His hands shake. By the following Monday, they've switched suppliers. No one is hurt. Nothing illegal can be proven. This is the sophistication the outside world never understands. Violence is the last resort, not the first. Fear is the product. The threat is the mechanism. Real violence is bad for business. It attracts police, attention, and management costs. You get your first tattoo this year. 14 sessions with the traditional Horishi and Asakusa. A koi climbing a waterfall up your left shoulder. A wave across your ribs. By the time it's finished, you cannot go to public baths. You cannot join a gym. You cannot swim in most public pools. Japan has effectively marked you as outside of normal society. You chose this. Some days you believe that. Your mother calls you every Sunday. You always answer. You always say work is fine. She says she's proud of how hard you work. You say thank you. You hang up. You sit with that for longer than you should. Level 4, the Shategashira. You're 28. You control a crew now. 12 men report through you. You sit at organizational meetings. You have opinions that are heard. You are Shategashira, the middle manager in an enterprise that operates like a corporation and kills like a feudal clan. You oversee the collection side of the money lending network. When clients fall behind, you send a wakashu to sit in their office every day. Not to threaten, just to sit, to drink tea, to be present. The psychological pressure is total. Most pay within 3 weeks. In your 5th year at this rank, a member of your crew steals from the collection pool, 600,000 yen over 4 months, taken in small increments he thought were invisible. You bring the man to a room above one of your gambling dens. You are alone with him for 40 minutes. When you leave, the money is recovered. The man is no longer part of the organization. No one asks what happened. You also, this year, have a finger removed. Not by punishment, you made no error worth that. By your own choice. You failed to prevent an incident that cost the organization a valuable police contact. The Wakagashira does not demand it, but you know what honor requires. You perform yubitsume in private. Your left pinky, at the first joint, removed cleanly. You present it wrapped in white cloth. The matter is considered settled. You haven't been to your father's restaurant in 2 years. He doesn't ask why anymore. You wired him enough money to renovate the kitchen. He thanked you. He didn't ask where it came from. You are not sure which of you is more ashamed of that. Level 5, the Wakagashira. You're 34. The man above you died in a car accident that wasn't an accident. A territory dispute with the Inagawa Kai. You're appointed Wakagashira, the number 2 in the family. When the Oyabun is unavailable, your word is his word. The organization generates approximately 4.8 billion yen annually. Construction, money lending, gambling, real estate, hostess clubs, import networks with connections to Chinese and Korean criminal organizations for pharmaceutical precursors. You don't touch drugs directly. The Yakuza has a formal prohibition against street-level narcotics. Language, always. The National Police Agency's Organized Crime Division has a file on you. You know this because you have a contact inside the NPA, a man who owes the organization a favor involving photographs he never wants his wife to see. He tells you when surveillance is active. You adjust. Japan's organized crime laws tighten in 2012 and again in 2016. Banks close your accounts. Insurance companies reject your claims. Real estate transactions become impossible under your name. The organization adapts. Fronts multiply. Names multiply. You legally do not exist in many of the businesses you run. You own a condominium in Minami Aoyama worth 180 million yen, registered to a company, registered to a man who doesn't know his name is on it. You drive a black Mercedes belonging to a leasing company your organization controls. You eat at restaurants where the chef prepares your preferred dishes without you ordering. You are powerful in the way that only men who've given up everything else can be powerful. Your younger sister moved to Osaka. She has 2 children now. You send gifts at New Year and on their birthdays. You've never met them. She sent you a message once that said, "Please don't come. I don't want them to know about you." You never replied. You kept the message. Level 6. The Oyabun. You're 41. The Oyabun had cancer. He told only you and his personal physician. You ran everything for 2 years before the formal succession. The ceremony is private. 14 senior members in a room. Sake. The ritual. Oaths renewed. By ancient custom, you are now their parent, and they are your children. You are responsible for everything they do. When a member commits a crime, you answer for it. When a member dies, you arrange the funeral and support his children until they are adults. You lead 340 members across Tokyo and Kanagawa. You have informal contracts with 3 city ward officials, a regional prosecutor, and 2 senior detectives at the Metropolitan Police Department. None of these relationships are transactional in any simple sense. They are maintained through patience, through information, through favors that can never be spoken of in any room with a recording device. The hardest decision of your tenure comes in year 2. A kyodai you personally promoted is found to have been providing information to the NPA for 8 months. He's 26 years old. His mother is sick. He made a deal he thought he could manage. He was wrong. The intelligence has cost you a warehouse, 2 arrests, and the police contact you spent 4 years cultivating. Yakuza law is clear about informants. It has always been clear. You give the order. You don't watch. You hear about it the following morning in 3 words from your wakagashira. Matter is resolved. You return to your desk. You sign 3 documents related to a real estate development in Yokohama. You drink your tea. Power is silence in the end. No one argues with you. No one questions you. Every room adjusts when you enter. You have everything you chose this for. And you chose it because once, 24 years ago, you had no choice. You have never been able to untangle those 2 things. You suspect you never will. Level 7, the Kumicho. You're 50. 9 years as Oyabun, a regional Yakuza council. A coalition of 6 families across the Kanto region elevates you to Kumicho, Supreme Commander, Godfather in the Western vocabulary. You don't manage operations. You don't manage territory. You manage power. At this level, the organization is a state within a state. You own legitimate businesses across construction, entertainment, real estate, finance, and logistics. Your lawyers work for firms that also service publicly listed corporations. You attend charity events. You sit on the advisory board of a nonprofit. A politician whose campaign your organization quietly financed 3 years ago sends you a New Year's card. He signs it with gratitude. Internationally, you negotiate with Taiwanese organized crime networks for Pacific shipping access. You maintain relationships with Korean criminal organizations with deep roots in Japan's Zainichi Korean community. You meet men at private dinners and hotels in Singapore and Macau. Quiet rooms swept for surveillance devices twice before you enter. The NPA calls your organization a designated violent group. That designation restricts what businesses can serve you: banks, insurance companies, even certain hotels. You have workarounds for all of it. You have had workarounds for 15 years. The law is a wall. You are the architect of the door in the wall. You have not spoken to your father in 6 years. He is 76. He still runs the izakaya. You have someone check on it twice a month without his knowledge. The restaurant is clean. The bills are paid. He wipes down the counter 3 times before closing. The same motion. Every night. You know this because someone tells you. You never go yourself. Some debts cannot be repaid. Some doors, once closed, are closed permanently. Level 8, the Reckoning. You're 57. The arrest happens at 5:40 a.m. on a November morning. 40 officers, 2 helicopters, simultaneous raids on 11 locations across Tokyo and Kanagawa. The NPA has been building this case for 3 years. Financial records, surveillance footage, wiretaps from phones you didn't know were compromised, testimony from 6 members who took plea arrangements in exchange for cooperation. You are handcuffed in your own living room. You say nothing. You do not reach for your phone. You do not resist. You are 57 years old and you have been preparing for this moment, in the back of your mind, for 40 years. You look at the officer who reads you your rights and you think, of course it ends like this. There was never another ending. 68 charges: organized crime conspiracy, extortion, money laundering across 4 jurisdictions, obstruction of justice, accessory to homicide, the 26-year-old informant 7 years ago. They have a witness, they have a recording, they have everything except your confession, which they will never have. The prosecution offers a deal. Cooperate, provide testimony against 2 affiliated kumicho in Osaka, receive a sentence of 12 years with possibility of parole in 8. You decline without asking for time to think about it. Your lawyer is not surprised. The trial lasts 14 months. You sit in Tokyo District Court every day in a dark suit. You listen to the testimony of men you promoted, men you broke bread with, men who drank sake in the same ceremony you did and swore the same oaths. You look at them while they testify. Some look back, most do not. Guilty on 61 of 68 charges, life in prison. You stand to receive the sentence. You bow once. You are taken from the courtroom. Maximum security, a cell 6 tatami mats in size, 23 hours of each day inside it, 1 hour in the exercise yard. No phone access, no family visits. You have been in the organization since you were 17 years old. The organization is not a family that visits. The debt your father borrowed was 4,200,000 yen. In the year of your arrest, the organization under your command generated 40 billion yen. You spent 40 years climbing to a place where that original number was meaningless, a rounding error, a footnote, and in the end, it's the only number that matters, the number that opened the first door. The debt that was never really about money, that was always about ownership, theirs, of you. You are 57 years old. You will die in this cell. The izakaya is still open. Someone told your lawyer, who told you. Your father wipes down the counter 3 times before closing. The same motion, every night. He has no idea that his restaurant, his debt, the 4,200,000 yen he couldn't repay, that is why. That is all of it. That is every single thing that happened. This is the Yakuza. Ancient oaths, modern crimes. The structure of a family built on violence, maintained through silence, and ended, always, eventually, in a room with no windows and a sentence that outlasts the man receiving it. You climb to the top. But the ladder was always resting on the moment a man sat across from you in a hospital cafeteria and paid a debt your father owed. And you were 17, and there was no other door. The debt is never repaid. It just changes shape.